So Indonesia passes a law banning intercourse and sexual relationship and even cohabitation outside of marriage. So Indonesia has passed that law where they have said that anyone who is outside of marriage, meaning before marriage or inside of marriage but they're extramarital relationships, then that is now against the law. Now let's just start off by taking a look at, there's a lot of news articles that are saying that, oh, this is something which is, against the rights of people and so on. But Indonesia is a free country and Indonesia is able to make any laws that it wants, of course. This is a secular law which has been passed by parliament, by a country which is governed by its own people, and they have passed this law. What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Of course, some of the critics are saying that this comes from Islam and Sharia and therefore it's influencing them. So what if it does? We look at the countries of the world and a lot of their laws are based on the Judeo-Christian values. So why can't Muslim countries have laws and values which are from Islam? Of course, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. Over 99% of the population is Muslim. And therefore, if they have decided that they want to pass this law, they have every single right to make whatever laws they want. And if we just take a look and we just analyze this for a second, wasn't Brexit all about this, about Britain taking back the powers to make the laws that they want to make and not being bound by European law? So therefore, Indonesia has every single right to pass any law that they want. And they say that there's protests against this. The pictures that they're showing, there's a few people protesting about that, but they're protesting about other things as well. So let's not focus it on just about Indonesia banning the adultery and banning fornication. That's something which promotes a healthy society, because we know in Islam also one of the key things, the maqasid of Sharia, the aims of the Sharia is to protect family and to protect society as a whole, family units as a whole and a society as a whole. Of course, all of this would only lead to a little bit more of a moral society and everyone understanding the lineage. Yes, because of course, if someone has a child outside of marriage, then that child doesn't have the same rights as a child who has a father inside of marriage. And that's really important in Islam. So Indonesia has every single right. And if we just look at this, the one question that did pop into my mind was that it equally applies to Indonesians, and it also applies to foreign nationals as well. And it got me wondering, is this actually correct even in the eyes of Sharia? So I actually called up my teacher and I asked him, mashallah, he's very, very knowledgeable. I've spoken about him on the channel a lot. And I asked him about this, and he said there are some laws in Islam where, remember, we're saying that this is a secular law passed by Indonesian government. It's a law by country. It's not a law by Sharia. Yeah, very, very clear. But I wanted to get the Sharia's perspective on this as well. And what he said is that there are some crimes in Islam which are equally punishable whether the person is Muslim or non-Muslim. Take, for example, murder. If you murder someone, whether you're a Muslim or a non-Muslim, then you need to be accountable for that murder. Yeah, you will be punished according to the laws of the land. Even if you live in this country or any other country, let's say, for example, you live in Canada, USA, UK, any of the European countries, if you go around and you become a drug dealer or you import drugs or anything like that, you will be punished according to the laws of the land. It doesn't matter whether you're a national of that country or whether you're a foreign national visiting that country. If you have decided to break the law, you will be accountable according to the law of that country. Whether they end up deporting you or whether they jail you in their own country, that is to do with the courts, and the judges will decide that. And of course, Indonesia's judges, I'm sure they will decide each case by their own standards. If you look at Sharia, so I asked my teacher specifically about adultery and fornication, and he gave me the answer from adultery because I think it's more pertinent to the discussion. And what he was saying is that marriage is recognized, and this is of course if we look at Surah Al-Lahab, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he recognizes the marriage of Abu Lahab and his wife. Yeah, wa mara'atuh, his wife. Yeah, his woman. So that means his wife. Yes. So Islam recognizes marriage outside from other religions. So what is the ruling of Sharia on this? What my teacher said is that if a married couple who is Muslim, they commit adultery, then of course the rajam will be carried out, meaning the punishment which is according to Islam for Muslims. But if a non-Muslim couple if a couple who is not Muslim and they were to commit adultery outside of their marriage, then they will still be punished, but they will have a lighter punishment. So it's up to the judges in Indonesia whether they want to punish a person and put them in a year in jail. And by the way, the year in jail is for Indonesians and not non-Indonesians. Maybe they need to look at that if they are basing it according to Sharia. Maybe they need to make it a little bit lighter for foreign nationals. They need to make it lighter for people who don't identify as being Muslim, who are not Muslim. So that maybe is something that they need to look at. But of course, this is a law made by their country, and they have every single right to do whatever they want to do, as long as it's been passed according to the rules of that country as well. We should, live by the laws of our country. As long as it doesn't, remember, Islam allows us to live by the laws of the country as long as it doesn't force you to do something against the core values of Islam. Yes? So this is something that you are able to do and you should do. That's why anyone who is foreign, visiting Indonesia, they should live by the laws of Indonesian law. And that's really important. So let's not kick up a fuss about this. We must analyze. Muslims must be people who analyze each topic. We don't get influenced by, a news article, or we don't get influenced by other people. We have to look at our own principles, and we have to look at our own values, and then make decisions based on that. So if you do that and you become a good Muslim, inshallah, you'll be able to be a thinking Muslim and someone who's not influenced very easily by any other person. So let Indonesians live the way that they want to live.